What's up, people? What's up? Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the technical issues. My regular sound guy, he's not here. My regular camera guy. So, but we got it though. We got it. We're gonna be just fine. All right. So don't trip. It's all good. Let me just load this stuff up real quick. Sorry about that. See all the technical stuff from behind the scenes?
I know, and I'm so
A
nervous.
prayer
Let me
circle.
start all over.
Load this stuff up real quick. Okay. See all the technical stuff from behind. All right. Now we just hear one.
You hear
Now,
that?
now we're doing good.
I heard somebody else talking.
Hello, that was me.
So
A
nervous.
prayer
Let me start
circle.
all over.
Load this stuff up. Okay. Yeah, something about a prayer circle. Okay, now we're good. Okay, let me make sure that this is all set, ready to go. Let's see the channel. We did hit the YouTube one. The YouTube is showing on the top. Yeah. All right. Because I can't see it. Play mix. Let me see. No, that ain't going to do it. Anyways, I can't see myself yet, but I'll get it right now as we go. Let me just welcome you guys to another Trapped No More episode. I pray you guys had a good weekend. Man, it was an interesting week, man. A lot of things going on. Before I forget, though, I really want to, give a shout out to all my Marines out there. Happy birthday. Believe it's the 249th birthday. So, hoorah to all you Marines. An early happy Veterans Day to all you veterans. Can't thank you guys enough for all you've done. And appreciate all you guys' service, man. Thank you guys. Pray you guys all have a good time. Oh, it's on that live one. I see it now. Okay. Oh, you know what? We didn't drop a thing. Okay, hold on. All right, we're on. Okay. So, anyways, I just wanted to thank all you veterans, thank all you Marines. Pray you guys all have a safe holiday weekend. I know for some of you, you guys got that long weekend. So just celebrate wisely, have fun, build memories, all that good stuff. But if you see somebody in uniform tomorrow, man, be sure to shake their hand, thank them for their service, appreciate them. And yeah, man, just love on them as much as possible. Anyways, today, though, man, as you can see this lovely young lady next to me, she's not nervous in any kind of way, by the way.
I am so nervous.
No, she ain't. This is my road dog, right? She cool. She straight.
Especially, you can make me do it 2 times.
The first time, that
I
was
was ready.
that was just to break the ice, all
Now I'm
right?
gonna vomit,
That
yeah.
was all planned, all right? But we just wanted to say thank you, Miss Angelina, for joining the Trap family.
Thank you,
right?
Jojo.
So
I love Jojo too. He's
as
the
I
best.
mentioned, this podcast, this platform, it's designed for the family members of the incarcerated and addicted, because as you know that how you put your mom through, and I'm not gonna go through your story. I'm gonna let you share that.
I didn't put her through nothing. Just fine.
Let me call her real quick. But you know the damage that we put them through with our shenanigans. And there's so many families that don't know how to navigate through all that. There's so many families that they don't know how to be supportive. They don't know how to get help for them. They don't know, like, if there's any hope for them, because a lot of families are being told that, your daughter's a hope to die doping, an alcoholic. They're never going to get better. It's just going to get worse and worse. And a family member that's never been down that rodeo, can you imagine that just being in their head? Like, this is only the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
To think, and especially, the progress as it goes, it does get worse.
It does.
There's a lot of things that build up, but there is hope. And there is help.
Hope. Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. So that's our whole platform, is to try to give them families that are trapped a way out,
I like the name.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You like my little
I love your
thing?
logo.
You see it?
Did
Look
you design it?
Dad, mom, little child.
Oh, yeah.
I did kind of design it, and you see like the unity, the circle.
Yes, I love
That's pretty
it.
cool, huh?
With the stars. What does the
Yeah.
3 stars represent? Let's make it up right now.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy
Spirit.
Ghost. Yeah. I almost said Southside, you know. Damn,
Yo,
I'm tripping. I'm
gangbanging.
tripping.
We're
I know three
gangbanging.
dots.
Three
I thought you said three
dots.
dots. You know,
Mi vida
but
loca.
you
Mi
said
vida
three
loca.
stars. My bad. My bad. So anyways, yeah, that's our platform. That's who we're reaching out to. So I can tell you right now, there's some people watching that are single moms, and they have. I know one of them for sure has a son incarcerated. The other one, her daughter's out there right now. She doesn't know where she's at. Um, I don't know who else is on right now, but that's kind of like who's watching. You know what I mean? And the whole purpose for me specifically bringing you on is because I love your energy all the time. You're the life of the party, right?
Yes.
But
Sometimes.
your
All the time.
your story is one that gives hope, you know? And a lot of people, when they see you all excited and just like doing you, you know what I mean? Sometimes they'd be like, "Oh man, that girl's putting extras on it," you know?
They're like, no, she's extra. Just
Yeah, they're
very
like,
popular.
this girl got too much energy. She done drank too many energy drinks right now. But it reminds me of this story. And let me just preach a little bit to you real quick, right?
Yes.
So it reminds me of this church service that I heard one day. And my pastor had shared that there was this guy in this congregation. It was a big like a tent revival type of thing.
Mhm.
And then there was this guy in the front row that was just dancing and singing, and he was up there just smiling and having the time of his life. And there was these other, believers. I'm not going to say Christian, but I'll just say believers in the back, like, man, why don't this dude just sit down already? Why don't you just calm down and just be a part of the service like everybody else? Why does he have to be up there acting all crazy, So when the preacher came out and he seen him, he said, "Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to see you in the audience." Like out of everybody, he acknowledges this guy because a year earlier, this guy was paralyzed on his deathbed and was told that he only had hours to live. So people don't see why you're so excited. They don't know what you've been through to be living your best life today.
Yeah.
They don't understand why Angelina is just,
crazy and full of life. Enjoying it.
Enjoying the moment.
Enjoying the moment.
You know what I mean? But as we share your story, maybe they'll get a glimpse of it. I don't know how much you're going to be willing to share. I tell you this, I usually tell people, man, just bring your raw version.
Well, beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, we might have to censor this one because she's wild. But
I'm gonna try really hard not to cuss.
Okay, that's all we could ask.
Because we're in a church.
Hey, don't disclose my location, man. Nobody knows where I'm at. Some people that are still after me, right?
Everywhere you go, there's church.
Yeah, everywhere. We are the church.
Yes, we are the church.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I am excited to hear your story because, man, I've been knowing you since 2007.
2007. So JoJo, I was in rehab. I paroled to a rehab in Walden House in Almani. And JoJo, there's how many girls were there? A lot of us.
Like 80 something.
He was the only man there.
And a cook. Don't forget.
We can't forget the cook. But JoJo was the maintenance guy. So JoJo was always the maintenance guy. Come fix the toilet. Our toilet's clogged. Always. And he was always there. Amazing guy. Amazing.
And
very respectful all the time too.
And let me tell you the backstory of that. So what happened is from Hill Street in downtown LA, we moved to Inglewood. We moved all the way to Inglewood, right to the whole stroke. We were on Century and Prairie, right? Right on the stroke. And I hated it being from the valley out here. It was like 3 hours going to work because I started at 6 a.m. So it was like 3 hours going to work, 3 hours coming home. And I'd come home with bumps on my neck and stuff. And I'd be like, this is too stressful. I hate this job. And you know how much I love the Walden House family. But I had a conversation with Mr. Garcia, Mr. Wayne, and
Garcia.
I said, you know what, Wayne? I love the family. I love the program. I'm grateful to be a part of it. I had been a counselor now since 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like almost 5 years, 4 or 5 years. I had already been working in residential treatment. But I said, I'm done. I am done with this. I am not doing this drive no more. And so when I had that conversation, he said, don't quit. Let me work on something. So he told me this. He said, listen, I know you love counseling. I know you love having a caseload. I know you love all that stuff. But how would you still like to work for the agency, but somewhere else, closer to home? And I said, where? He said, Almani. Once he said Almani, I was already, wait a minute, that's the women's facility. That's FOTEP. You know what I mean? I was well aware of FOTEP.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, and guess what? You're getting a raise. So I'm like, getting a raise closer to home. I said, but what am I? I'm like, what am I going to be doing there? He said, you're going to be doing maintenance. And I'm thinking maintenance recovery. I'm like, maintenance, like recovery maintenance? Like, what are you talking about? He said, no, you're going to be fixing beds. You're going to change light bulbs. And I was like, but I'm getting raised. How much more? He said, you're going to get like about $5 raise.
Dang.
I said, from counseling to being a maintenance man. And I've always been good with my hands. I mean,
Yeah.
and they knew this, right? So I was like, all right, I'm willing to try that. Heck yeah. You remember I had my own little office, a little shed in the back. I was all cool. And I remember everyone at the men's facility was like, hey, Jojo, they setting you up, fool. I know you think they love you and you're the poster child, and they setting you up. They're like putting the wolf in the chicken hen.
Literally.
They're like, you don't want to go there, fool. You're going to lose your job. You're going to get caught up in something. He said, they're all parolees, fool. You know that, right?
We're all parolees.
You know they're all wild.
We all paroled, went to the program.
And I remember my first day.
We haven't seen in a long time.
And I remember my first day. It was so funny. Don't say her name, but what was her?
Don't say her name. Don't say her name. Don't say her name. But what was her name?
But you'll remember she came out with the cape on and she was flying around. You remember who? You remember?
We're not going to say the name, though.
Don't say the name.
We're not.
But this is what I saw, and I was like, oh hell no, these are some J cats over here.
What do I get myself into?
Yeah, I was like, man, but. Once I learned my schedule, and I hadn't worked with Paula ever, but I knew Paula was pretty. I mean,
Paula Rice.
Her, she was hardcore. Yes. I mean, she was like zero tolerance. So I was like, man, I don't know how it's going to be working under her, but we ended up being really hella cool, man, really cool. And next thing I know, man, I'm just a normal face in there. But I think the cool thing about it was everybody knew me already, kind of knew my story, especially the staff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They knew I was a lifer. They knew, I came home pretty much on a miracle. They knew my reputation being with the men. And of course, Vic, the head honcho, and they were like, Jojo, we wouldn't trust you around them females and them children if we didn't know your integrity.
Yeah.
If we didn't know that you would look out for these women as your own wife or sister or daughter. And that's the way it was. I mean, as time went on, having all these young kids around, you know what I mean? And little kids that had, they had a lot of different challenges, with their being separated from their moms. I mean, one of the stories there, we'll get to her story right now, but one of the stories that made me literally almost cry when I went back to my office is when I was asked to hand one of the babies over to DCFS. And I was like,
yeah.
But what could we do, though? The mom got caught shoplifting, you know what I mean? And we weren't just going to be responsible for a baby.
That's where you take them home.
I can't just take them home. I'm a felon. I think I was on high control at the time too.
Pass the background.
But I was sad though because the baby, the baby was just holding on to me and wouldn't let me go. And I was like, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay," And I'm putting her in the seatbelt and stuff, and in the baby chair. And I was like, man. And Naomi and them were right there. They were crying too, and I was like, dang, man, this.
We were so well connected there. All us women were connected there.
Yeah.
Until this day, we're still connected, and that's what's amazing.
Just had a celebration today.
Yeah, we had Friendsgiving with the women from Walden House,
and that always cheers up my heart when I see you guys. You guys are at the beach. You guys always celebrate somewhere else, and I'll be like, oh man. And you got your matching tattoo. Let me see your matching tattoo.
Oh, this is our matching tattoo.
Let me see.
So we all got matching tattoos. Wait,
a few years ago, about 6 years ago, huh? Oh, go to camera 2.
Wait, you see it? So this is our Affinity Sister tattoo. We all got one.
About 8 of you?
Yeah, 8 of us. Yeah.
About 8 of you, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how tight they are.
Bond is, and we talk every day, even if it's a message on Messenger, good mornings, every morning. We don't go a day without saying hi to each other, checking in with each other. It's a constant check-in.
That's a straight that tells
you that program really worked. Walden House FOTEP was an amazing program. It was like we all paroled and we just went to this place and we just got connected. And it's because the way the program was ran.
Yeah. Family.
Yeah. Like you're my family too. Shoot. Jojo's a graduate too. Walden House family
best
forever.
Believe that. Shoot. So anyways, we're going to backtrack now and we're going to get to the young Angelina. We want to find out how Angelina ended up here.
I'm still young.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I'm still 15.
But if you don't mind, and I tell people, this isn't the opportunity to throw anybody under the bus or anything like that.
This ain't blaming my mama. Just like.
Yeah. But if you don't mind just taking us back to where you come from and what it was like growing up in your home, your siblings, and then just kind of work into the school years and all that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me see. Well, I think I had I have 3 sisters. I have a older sister and a younger sister. I grew up in Whittier, born and raised in Whittier, California. Woo! Um, and I just remember having a really good childhood. I can't really go back and tell you, like, my older sister would be like, "I remember when we were 2 years old," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't remember what I was doing at 2 years old. I don't remember even what I was doing at 15 years old sometimes." But I just remember, having loving parents, my mom and my dad, and then I'm getting a little bit emotional because I feel like, I do have daddy issues because he passed away when I was young. But, my dad passed away when we were 5 years old, and I just remember that, that's when I feel like I got a little broken. More not so much I don't remember, like, I can't say that's why it went bad. I just feel that's part of the reason why things went a bit bad for me, but my mom did the best she could, raising us. At 6 years old, he passed away. He got murdered. He was at a bar in East LA and, got in a fight at a bar and, like, I guess some guy shot him and my uncle and my Nino, and he didn't survive. My dad died instantly. And, I just remember mom just remember having a good life. My mom always had a roof over her head, and I'm an and dog kind of girl, you can tell. But I just remember my mom always having a roof over her head. Like, I just remember growing up, seeing my mom party, having fun. It was never ever drugs or alcohol was a problem. My mom just made it seem like it was just fun to do. Like, I remember my mom partying with her friends, having a good time in the front yard. My mom saying, "Go get the beer for us," and us running to go get it. Like, it was never, I never see my mom actually lose anything. Like, recovery was never thought of back then. It was
Mhm.
just, you just party, have a good time, and that's it. And I want to say that my first experience ever getting drunk and ever, so this is how powerful your mind is when you really want to believe something. I remember we were like 6 years old, and my mom, it was New Year's, and it was me and my cousins. My mom said, "Oh, I'm gonna let you guys drink today," and they brought out the bottle of wine. We're like, "Yes, we're gonna get drunk." You know, we're all excited. We're gonna get drunk, like super excited. I'm like, cousin, it was my cousin, my twin cousins, George and David, and my sister Lena. And they brought us little wine glasses, and they poured us our drinks. We're like, we're gonna get up,
Mm.
and we drank it, and we got so drunk. Let me tell you, we were so drunk on that one cup. We were falling over the place. We were like this bunch of drunk kids, just just falling over the place. And then my mom tells us, "You guys drink apple cider." We were so drunk off apple cider, but that tells you how powerful, like, our mind can, like, we can really be controlled by something, like, we
Yeah.
really allow it to. So I believe that's when my first experience with any kind of mind altering substance was apple cider. That was my first experience with alcohol. But I didn't. So basically, my mom didn't like show us any different, but to have fun.
Mhm.
Like, I just remember saying, when I get older, I want to be like my mom, like, party and have a good time. That's, I remember all the time. I was like, "Oh, when I get old, I'm gonna be just like that." And and it wasn't like my mom, what she's always had a roof over her head. I just think it's just the people I hung around with. It's
Mm.
just when I ran the streets, it's the people that I hung around with that did it. Because I don't think my mom ever said, here's some drugs or here's some alcohol. Like, it was never ever nothing like that. I would just think it was just the. I remember I was 14 years old. We moved to Montebello, and I did school and went to a hotel with some guys, and they brought out these white substance stuff, like, and I was like, and mind you, I don't know what it is, right? So they're getting loaded, they're doing lines, and I said, "Okay, let me try." I'm ditching school. I'm supposed to be home already because I never went. It was already late, so I'm like, I'm in
Mhm.
trouble anyways. So I'm doing like this like, kept on doing line after line, and I was writing my name like 20,000 times, Angelina, 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 and cursing
What were
and
you
block.
writing on? Just on paper?
Probably the Bible. I don't know. Whatever was there at the hotel on the
He's
wall,
bad.
paper. I don't even just I think that's actually what it was. I was tearing the pages off, like, just literally. And then oh, I had my school books too, so I was writing my name over. My tongue was like all over the place. I was loaded as hell, like super wired. I don't know how many lines I did. And I was like, okay, I need to go home. And I was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I went knocking on the door and I was locked out. My mom opened the door. She slapped my face so hard. And I was like, what did I do? She's like, you're high. And I'm like, so I guess my eyes are like popping out my head. I think my tongue was hanging out my mouth. I was so loaded. And I remember, and I'm not embarrassed to say this because it's part of my story. And I was up for 4 days. I was up on that stuff. I got so sick. I pooped my pants. I was just coming down so awful. And I even came home with dope too. And I was like, I'm never touching this stuff ever again. Never touching it ever again. I don't ever want to feel like this. I got in trouble. I got punished. I feel sick. I'm vomiting. It's awful. So I remember flushing that stuff down the toilet, and I told myself, I'm never ever touching this stuff ever again. I'm sticking to pot. You know what I mean? So like 13 years old is when like we used to go. My friend Ceci used to live down the street right there, because by then we moved to La Puente, and I had my
Whoop,
friend.
whoop.
Yeah, La Puente. Whoop whoop. So I always say I'm from Whittier and La Puente. I was like Whittier and La
It's
Puente are my
okay.
two
We'll
cities.
accept you. We'll accept you.
Yeah, because my mom was born in La Puente, so raised in La Puente. So I remember we used to go to my friend Ceci's mom, their dad's house, right? And he had liquor and cigarettes. So we'd always steal his liquor and drink it, typical kids, what we did. And then 15, I found the good stuff. And I just remember I was never going to touch that stuff again. And by then, my mom was still a mom. She still punished us. There was still rules that we had to follow. And then I always say that I believe my mom found, she got in a relationship. And this person is part of my story. And my mom just started becoming a mother that wasn't with no rules no more. So it was a free for all for me and my sisters to do whatever we wanted. There was no discipline no more. There was no taking things away from you anymore. It was like you do whatever you want. And so I stood connected to the streets. And in La Puente, I used to be from ACQ, the tagging crew. So there used to be a yard in La Puente. So all of us used to go run way over there, right there off of, where's that, California? Right, what's the supermarket right there?
Which one? Northgate?
Northgate behind
Sunset.
Okay. Yeah, no, not Sunset. It's
Which one?
Shoot, it's literally off California.
Off California.
Yeah. There's
all the way up, like towards West Covina?
Yeah, right there. Okay, what's the Dollar Tree's right there? And what market's right there right now? There got either.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, okay. You're talking about like by Maple Grove.
Maple Grove. Yeah,
Maple Grove. That way.
Okay, so that liquor store right there behind there used to be a yard. So that's where it was like empty yard. And everybody used to just hang out right there. So our friend Kilo used to live down this alley. So we all kicked it back there. So we always had somewhere to go and rent it. That was a spot. And so my mom ended up meeting this guy, and we just didn't have no rules. And I just did whatever I wanted. I mean, I think partying for me, there was nothing wrong with it. Even today, I'm like, if I can still get loaded, I would get loaded. I just don't like the consequences that come with getting loaded. And do I regret anything I did back then? No, I don't, because I wouldn't be the woman I am today. And it just basically was just a cycle of just partying. And then I went back to Whittier, and I ran the streets of I used to, like, the neighborhood I used to kick it with all the time was Cataranas. And I did a whole lot of partying there. Jimtown and Cataranas was a spot to be for me. A lot of drunk days, a lot of drunk Angie. I did a lot of drinking in my teenage years, not so much getting loaded. I think I really got really, really bad when, and I thought like hanging out where cholos was a thing to do. Like, those are my people. Like, even today, what's amazing is that those are my people today. They're just clean now. You know what I mean? I don't put myself in situations where I'm going to get shot at or gangbanging. I'm in cars that have stuff or guns. Like, I don't roll around with people like that have illegal stuff in their car no more. So like those are the people. That was like the chaos I liked. I loved the drama of the streets. I loved running the streets. I loved it. There wasn't a time that I'd be like, no, I don't want to go. I'm like, okay, let's get ready. Like, let's get ready. I always say I was never a gangbanger. I was just one of those hood rat girls that just like to be in every hood.
Oh my God. She crazy. I told you she was crazy.
That's my story. I'm not ashamed of it, because that's what we do. Like, when we're growing up, having a good time,
Yeah.
Like, where we're going to go, or what neighborhood we're going to hang out with today. That was like us getting ready every
So
day.
This was like at 15 years old. You're speaking of right now?
17.
17. So what was school like for you during that time? Because I know the structure, you said that went out the door, but.
So school was, I went to school. So I went to school all the way to 8th grade. I was at Sparks. I was even a cheerleader at Sparks Junior High. Yeah. Okay. So I went to school. I still went to school. And then my mom started moving around after that. So then I went to Montebello High School. Then I went to La Puente High School, back to La Puente High School. Then I went to Whittier High School. And then I ended up back in Frontier Continuation. And I made it all the way to 12th grade. And I think I got kicked out 2 weeks before school ended because I cussed out the math teacher saying, fuck you. And then he kicked me out. And I just never went back. So from then, it was just like, do whatever you want. Okay.
Okay, we'll get into it though, because I know you ended up getting your diploma, but we'll catch up to that. So regular 12th grade, you didn't get no high school diploma. You ended up continuing that lifestyle, running the streets. I mean, 9 out of 10 times we're going to end up having some encounters with the law. Did you ever have an encounter?
Oh yeah. So the first time I ever got arrested was my mom. I remember stealing her car when I was 15 years old, and she was out visiting her my stepdad in prison. Because mind you, we used to go all over the place, like every prison, visiting my stepdad with my mom. So by that time, she found the man, the one that was part of my story, and he'll be part of my story later on, because I feel like when your parents get with somebody, and I feel like I did that to my daughter too. Like when we get in this relationships and we make this person our God, you know what I mean? And we forget about other people that we have raising, and we make this person, this main person, control our life. And I feel like that's what my mom did, and she forgot about like her kids. And I felt like a lot of neglect came in with that, like feeling abandoned and not feeling good enough, and not feeling like, why didn't you love me, and why do you love somebody else, you know? So
were you able to identify this back then, or was this something you learned later on in treatment?
I learned it, because back then it was like, yeah, my mom lets us do whatever we want.
Yeah.
So I remember my mom was on one of her trips where she was visiting my stepdad, and I call him my stepdad because I'm able to forgive him today. And because I remember I hated him a lot of the years growing up, and I stole her car, and she reported it. She reported it stolen, I think, or something like that. And then she ended up I ended up getting arrested, and she left me an LP. So that was my first encounter. So she left me an LP for 2 weeks. That's when I became. That's when my getting arrested story began, and I couldn't stop getting arrested after that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So after that, when you went to juvenile hall, what was that like for you?
I remember.
What's that unit right there? KL?
Yeah, I don't even remember.
KL,
I just remember sitting there crying. I was
JK,
crying. I think I was a little kid. When I get busted, I cry. I get on my knees and cry. I know the
girls unit was all the way to the left side. When you walked out from R&R, you go to the left side.
I just remember. I don't remember. I just remember crying. I remember I want to go home, and I'm sorry. And I call my mom, please just come. They let you. Back then they let your parents keep you there. Oh, like they let my mom keep me there. Like she could have picked me up at any time. And she left me there.
You don't mind me asking, what year was this?
Shoot, I don't know. I was 15, 16 when it happened.
What year was it?
Well, I'm 12. Just playing. I'm 45. So.
No, but you don't remember the
year?
Was it like mid-90s? Was it?
How old were I when I'm 15, 16? I don't remember. I don't pay attention to. Come on, I did a lot of drugs. You might remember.
So, but for sure it was in the 80s though. It was like
it probably was the 80s, maybe the 80s.
I'm like, yeah, you're really old now. I'm like,
okay, 90s. Then what was I? 90s?
That'd be 90s, yeah.
Okay, 90s.
90 something. Okay.
Okay, 90s, yeah. Oh yeah. It had to be 90s, yeah.
The last time I was in LP was in 90. That's when I was in 90.
Okay, so how old are you?
I ain't going to share my age because my wife's going to kill me. She hates telling me. Oh,
okay.
But I was born in 73. Anyway, so I was there in 89. And I still remember the address. Well, shoot, I ended up being there for
you were there for a long time. I was only there for 2 weeks crying.
7285 Eastwood Drive, Downey, California. Yeah, I still remember it. Yeah. Well, I had a lot of pen pals back then, you know, so I had a lot of.
Oh, so you wrote a lot of letters. Yeah. See, I didn't. I was sitting there crying.
So what was it like? What was it like you being in there, not officially a gang member? Because I know in there, you know, that plays a factor.
Yeah. So it's different for like, everybody asks me all the time, how is it? It's totally different than the guy. It's totally different. I think it's just like when I get arrested all the time, it's just like, I call it on a college dorm, just with a bunch of females, because we all get along, bullshit, talk shit. But I remember at that time, I just remember crying a lot, and I wanted to go home.
There was never no bully there? Like, stop crying, you stupid.
No, not even nothing like that. No.
Nobody came and hugged on you. They were like, it's going to be okay.
No. I think I just probably sat around and probably chatted my brains off with somebody, and next thing you know, it's 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, bye, gotta go. Mommy's pick me up now.
So did you get a little scared straight though?
Well, yeah. Well, it's one of those things. Every time I get arrested, I always say, please God, get me out of this situation. I promise I'm going to be good. And then I get out and I'm bad again.
How long after? So tell me what happened. You get out.
I stood out.
You did that hard 2 weeks, and what happened?
Yeah, I did that hard 2 weeks, and I just felt like a criminal. I was like, damn, I just did life here. I'm like, I got my stripes, got my 3 dots on my finger.
Nobody can say nothing to me now, huh? She's the OG.
I'm an OG.
Say veterana now.
No, I just remember. It was kind of like I got busted. You know, like one of those things. Hey, I did time.
I was crying the whole time, but I was doing time.
I cry every time I get busted.
So tell me what happened.
So I think I stood out. My mom didn't send me away no more. Like I didn't get arrested until I turned 18, and it was amazing because I just gave my friend a cake for 11 years. My friend Desiree, and we met each other, and she just reminded me of like we were 18 years old, and she was my bunkie in the working dorm. and how amazing how we're still friends.
Wow.
So I just remember meeting a lot of friends in jail. Like, I'm a person that if I meet you, we're staying together forever. Like, I don't even forget where we came from. And it's amazing because I have a lot of friends today, even people that are here, like here, watch me right now, like people I used to party with and how we got clean. And I just hold on to them.
That's right.
I just hold on to them. I just feel like I'm a go person for anybody that changes. Even if you're not changing, I'll sit there and help you plant the seed, and we're gonna get it together.
Cool.
And I think 18 is when I went to LA County Jail, and that's when my life was just like, oh, my mom can't pick me up.
And I don't got no bail money. Shoot, I'm stuck.
Yeah, and you know what? Every time I got arrested, I was never ever, the judge never said you get OR'd or you're gonna go home. No, like I had to stay. And I just remember what 18. I just kept. I think I got arrested again at 19, and then I got arrested at 20. Just kept going to the county. I've been to the county jail a lot of times, and it was always because of in the beginning it was under the influences.
Okay.
Yeah, under the influence, going to jail, and I didn't start doing big time until I started figuring out how to do criminal activity. But yeah, 18 I was in. And I think at 21, I made the decision to because right then I was already on drugs already, really bad on dope. Nothing else mattered but being on dope, because I was starting getting arrested. And at 21, I had this wake up call because I wasn't getting loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I got pregnant. I ended up getting pregnant for one of my good friends. I was never, ever in a relationship with him. He was a dope man. And I'm getting pregnant. And I knew that I was going to raise that little girl on my own. And I made the decision that if I can get raised without a dad, I can raise my little girl without a dad. And I decided to keep her. And I said, I'm going to have this kid because I'm never going to be without love. She's always going to love me. And I'm never, ever going to treat my daughter the way my mom treated me. I'm going to raise her. I don't know. I don't have no tools, no parenting skills. All I know is how to be a person to run the streets with a bunch of gang members, just party my ass off and don't know no parenting skills at all. My parenting skills I do know is the way my mom raised us. And that wasn't obviously a very good job. But now that I know now, she did the best she could. And I love her for that. And there's a lot of times where I don't love her at all when I was using. But now that I'm grown and I learned to accept that she did the best she can. Yeah. And I made that decision to keep my daughter. And I remember that was just the happiest day of my, like the happiest being pregnant. I decided at 4 months to keep her. So from 1 to 4 months, I was getting loaded with my kid because I wasn't sure if I wanted her. And when I decided to keep her, I just felt this little human growing in my stomach. And I knew that my life was going to change. And I get cried because I'm like, being a parent and a drug addict is like, I really, really thought that I was going to raise this little kid the way I thought she was supposed to be raised, like give her all the love that she needs and just be an amazing mom. And we were just going to have this white picket fence house and we were just going to live this happy, happy, happy life. And it just didn't happen like that.
Yeah. Were you in custody when you were pregnant?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
No. I was, my mom still had a roof over her head. We were living in West Covina at that time. And my mom bought a house. Back then, you were able to buy a house so easily. And we bought a house. We were living in Covina. So I remember we had a roof over our head. And I'd say I had my kid. Everything was good and going good. I wasn't going to get dirt. I wasn't using no more. I wasn't using no more. And then at 6 months, I went to go hang around with people. And I started getting loaded again.
Let me ask you that. How did you come up with their name?
So, remember that show Felicity? So Felicity was a show. It was named Felicity. And Austin Powers' girlfriend.
Oh, okay. It was.
It was.
That's a unique name, though.
It is.
When I heard it, I was like, I love that name.
Yeah. It was, that's why I got it. It was a show, Felicity, I think in the 90s. We were just talking about it. Me and my daughter were just talking about it yesterday. She's like, when did it come out? I think it was like the 97 it came out. 97. I said, I like that name, Felicity. Like, I don't, me, I always want to be different, something different. I didn't want a common name.
And let me just say, her daughter, she was probably about 6 years old when I met her, huh? Was she about 6, 7? She was little.
Felicity, when she went to Oh yeah, she was 5, 6.
She was
Yeah.
about 5, 6 years
Yeah.
old. Oh, she was a bad little girl throwing rocks
So
everywhere,
yeah,
making
she
a
was bad.
mess.
Yes.
I was like, they need to put her on the bench.
So I shared this story with my daughter. Yesterday we were shopping yesterday, and that's what we get to do today, like be there present in my daughter's life. And it was so funny because I was sharing. I was like, Felicity, you went to prison, and you went to rehab. Like my daughter paroled when I paroled because my second prison term, I got to take her with me. I did a mother infant prison program in San Diego. Yeah, and then that's when I went to Walden House. So I always share. I'm like, damn, you did drugs when you were not even born. You're doing drugs when you weren't even born yet, and you paroled.
I used to go to the San Diego facility to go present.
The Family Foundations. Yeah, amazing program.
Yeah,
I don't know why they closed it down, but
funding.
Yeah.
That's what they always say.
I know.
But yeah, I remember. You know what though? I remember them days with you learning them mother skills, them parenting skills. I remember you get so stressed out sometimes. You're like, I think you would hand her off to Sylvia or somebody. Like, Sylvia, you need to get her. I need a break. I need to go. You know? And yeah, that would be so cool though, being there to see you, develop in your relationship with her. And I remember the way they would tell you to communicate with her. You need to communicate with her. You need to tell her how you feel. And I'd be like, no, that little girl need a whipping.
Yeah, it was so funny because that's when we were sharing that today with the girls. They were like, remember you tried to put a dress on Felicity, and she was like, give me your hat, and then she'll put it on backwards. She was one of the baby kids at Walden House.
She was one
amazing.
Of the little ones.
Yeah.
She used to help me too. Now,
yeah. She was a little handy dandy little helper.
Yeah. Remember, you used to help me a lot too when we would do different things around there.
Yeah.
Anything to get out of group.
Anything to get out of group. Yeah.
Anything.
I'm a me.
I need 2 girls right now. I'm in. But yeah, so you get pregnant, you're still messing around. What ends up happening?
So wait. So wait, where am I at on my story?
You were right there where you were saying how you ended up getting pregnant, and you were saying how I'm not going to, I'm going to keep her. I'm not going to be without love ever again.
Yeah. Okay. So that's when my real criminal behavior ended up happening. So after that, I ended up doing that. I ended up learning how to do criminal activity. So after 6 months, I ended up getting loaded with my daughter. So at that then, I didn't want to be a mother no more. I was a mother. I was present in her life. I was still there. I thought that if my daughter had Barney on the TV and Top Robin on the table, and that was her and a roof over her head, I thought I was a good mom. Yeah. So what happened was that I ended up going to prison. I caught my first term, and my mom raised her with my sister, and then I ended up getting out, going to my mom put me in rehab. Oh wait, let me go back. I know what happened. In 2000, after I had her, when I relapsed, my mom put me in rehab because back then my mom found recovery. So my mom planted the seed because back then there was no recovery. So if my mom wouldn't have found recovery, I don't think I would have found recovery either. And she planted the seed, and she was like, my daughter was it 2001 went into baby steps in Long Beach. I went to rehab in 2000, my first time ever going to a rehab. By then I was living with my uncle. My uncle was a dope man, and he was giving me drugs. Me and my daughter were living with him because I had nowhere to go. My mom lost the house. My mom was living at Queens Lodge. Remember Queens Lodge?
Yeah, the one right there off of Francis.
The trucker stop, Park. Yeah, that was my mom's home. Wow. I always have Felicity. That's where you live sometimes with grandma. That's history right there in Ballman Park.
Yeah.
literally down the street somewhere. And so that was so my mom was like, I was running the street. She's like, you need to go do something yourself. And my mom got clean. So like the party ended now because now my mom got clean. Now she's speaking recovery to me, and she's praying me into the rooms. And I always tell my mom, dude, you have to stop praying for me because when you pray for me, I get busted. All the time. I'm like, stop praying. You're like killing my party. But I'm thankful for those prayers, and I'm thankful for the people that she had around that prayed for me. And she planted the seed and put me in a rehab when my daughter was not even 1 year old, because I remember she started walking there, and I still talk to that counselor from that rehab to this day. Wow. Rosa, I love you, Rosa.
You hold on to
yes,
people.
I do hold on to people, and even I still talk to the people from that rehab. They were still on my Facebook. We still talk. We still check in with each other too. Another rehab that was baby steps in Long Beach. My mom put me there, and then I was there for 6 months, and I got Section 8. They gave me Section 8, and so I got out, and in order to keep the Section 8, you had to go to outpatient.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up moving to Downey. And I got my own little apartment, my first apartment. I was on cloud nine. Everything was going perfect for me and my kid. I was a mom again. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, the Birchcrest Apartments on Downey off Paramount. Whoop, whoop. I ended up turning that into a trap house. Why now people call it a trap house. I call it a tweaker pad.
Mm-hmm.
We call it tweaker pads. But I ended up going there. I ended up staying clean for like I want to say 2 years. I had my apartment 2 years. I ended up meeting a guy when I was in rehab. He ended up being a heroin addict. And so I'm an emotional user. It's never ever like, hey, I'm going to go use. If I'm feeling some type of way inside and Angie's not taking care of herself emotionally, like in all areas of her life, I get a little, like all these dysfunctional feelings that I have in me, all these broken things that I have inside of me come back, and I want to numb it. And I think that's every time I have used, it's because I'm an emotional wreck. And I didn't have tools to apply. I didn't have like a support group to like, hey, help me, but other than my mom. But then you don't run to your mom because your mom's like, what are you doing? You know, you hide everything from your parents. And that apartment just ended up at that time, I was a tweaker, meth. And I remember like when I remember when I started doing lines, right? I was like, if I ever smoke, I'm a really, really bad tweaker. Like that's like the extreme. You can't smoke. I'm sticking to lines. And then I ended up smoking. And then if I ever shoot up, that's really like, you're really, really, really a bad tweaker. Like you're really bad in drugs. You need help. And then I ended up shooting up. So that was like my last raw was shooting up dope. And I did that at the end for a lot of years, for like last couple years of me using. But the first time I ever started shooting up was I met that guy and I ended up shooting up heroin in that apartment. And I was like, I went straight to my neck too. He didn't. And I felt like I had to play catch up with him because he was in heroin addict and he would like do it and he would clean the house and he would be up, go to work. And I was like, I want to be like that, you know? And I remember like, okay, shoot me up. And he shot me up in my neck, straight to my neck. And I was like, damn. And I remember I was on the couch like this. I was like,
when does the cleaning come? When does the energy come? You're there stuck, huh? Like,
when does the energy, when does it? I remember throwing up out of nowhere, and I was like, when does the energy come in? But you know, people that do heroin, they do it for a long time, so they function. Me, I was man down, and I did heroin for 2 weeks, and I ended up getting arrested. And I said, it's because I'm slamming heroin. That's why I got arrested. It was never because of my behaviors. It was never because I'm doing criminal activity. It was never, ever anything else other because I was slamming heroin. That's why I got busted. So I got arrested and I said, you know what? I'm not touching that anymore. I'm going back to meth. I stood on longer with meth. And from then, and like I ended up moving out. I kicked him out because he just, mind you, I'm getting loaded now. I want to party. People start coming over now. He was in the way. And I kicked him out, never seen him after that. And then my house just turned into every neighborhood was in that apartment.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And I used to tell everybody, I'm like, you come to my house, I'm letting you know, pre-warning you guys. Like, I don't know who, so I just want to party and have a good time. That's all I want to do. And that little girl and everybody respected, like Felicity would have the whole living room to herself. And I never paid attention to signs. I remember I was missing my cigarettes and I couldn't find my cigarettes. And Felicity was like 2, 3, and I was looking for my cigarettes. And I get so emotional when it comes to my kid. And because that's one of my things that one of my biggest disappointments, you know, was not being a good mommy to her. And I really, really, really tried, you know, but drugs are more important and running the streets are more important than being a mom. And there's no, and before I would be ashamed of it, but it's, you know, when we do drugs, like that just comes with the lifestyle. And I remember looking for my cigarettes and I couldn't find them nowhere. And Felicity was laying in the living room and she all her toys. I mean, she had every toy because like everybody came over because back then I did fraud. So like it was criminal activity. So shopping was my thing to do. And I remember she was laying down and I went to go pick her up to move her to the couch and all my cigarettes were broken in the thing. And I remember her saying, I don't want you to smoke. And I remember she was like 3 years old saying, no, mommy, no smoke. Because she thought every time I went in the room was because I was smoking a cigarette. And like little things like that, I still didn't pay attention. And I still didn't pay attention to stuff like that. And then there were so many people in and out of the house. And then that apartment ended up getting raided. They took like 10 of us out of my apartment. We were all getting ready to shop, getting crazy stuff ready, and they raided the apartment. Some guy that was there from a neighborhood ran up to my house and dropped a gun right in front of my place. So the cops ended up, I guess they were watching him. And I let him stay at my house the night before. And and then one of my friends, and I still talk to him to this day, and I was like, damn, he always be out my window. And he was like, they're outside watching your house. There's a white van outside. I'm like, get the hell out of the window. Nobody's out there. He's like, no, they're watching your house. I'm not coming back. I'm like, no, they're not. And he's like, they're watching. I'm like, you're a tweaker. Get away from my window. And sure enough, they were watching my house.
Dang.
And I didn't pay attention to it. You know what I mean? And they ended up coming to my house raiding. They ended up pulling 10 of us out of my house. And my daughter was there too. They took her. And I was lucky enough that they let my mom pick up my daughter. And then I'm going to prison for the second time. Mm-hmm. And once again, I'm sitting in prison praying again, please God, let me out. And I didn't get out. And I told myself that if I get out of this one, I'm going to be good. And I got out, did my little 16-month term. And then, that was my first prison term. That's when I got arrested. And then I got out 2 weeks later. I get out, get loaded the second day I get out. And 2 weeks later, I end up picking up another prison term.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And that's when I ended up in San Diego. And then I ended up at Walden House.
So that's when you were like, enough is enough.
No.
I need to try something else.
No.
Okay, keep going.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I thought was enough, So then, I get in this relationship, I know it just goes on. I get in this relationship and things start going up because I stood clean after that, after Walden House. I stood clean for a while. And that's when I ended up getting a job at Walden House.
Saska.
At Saska.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm getting a job at Saska and everything's going good. And then I just end up relapsing. My chaos just starts again.
And this is leading to your accident, right?
Oh yeah. So this is leading to my accident. Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So I always say it's like when you drive, like I drove a lot of times under the influence. It's normal to fall asleep driving. It's normal. You got a red light, you fall asleep because you've been up for a few days. Like I could be up for a month and drive falling asleep. So that we get that's just normal. Those little bloop bloops on the street, they wake you up. That's why they're there for. So when tweakers like me drive, I get a wake-up call and I wake up.
Hey, you're one of the ones that at a stop sign, you think it's a red light, you just stay there at the stop sign just waiting for it to turn green. Like that big old red light ain't turning, huh?
I seriously think those little bloop bloops on the street are made for us people that get high to wake up. Yeah, you're gonna tell me any different. Because I really believe that's what they're there for. And so what happened was I barely relapsed again. This was in 2014, 2015. By then I'm in this long-term relationship. Once again, Angie's not feeling good about herself. By then I was getting U-Hauls. U-Hauls are my rent-a-car. I would rent a U-Haul because by then I'm doing credit card fraud and doing all this checks and doing all this stuff. And it's hard to get a rent-a-car, but it's easy to get a U-Haul. Super easy to get a U-Haul. So what I would do, I'd get a U-Haul truck, make it mine, get a hot gun, take all the stickers off, and make it an F-150, brand new F-150 off the lot.
Oh my goodness. You are too much.
With Arizona plates. And I crashed a lot of those U-Haul trucks. A lot of them. I had a few of them. I would crash them and just leave them there because I just have to go get another one. Well, I knew how to get a rent-a-car. And by this time, the bounty hunters were looking for me. I was out on bail. I got bailed out I was out on bail. And for credit cards again. And so I got this. I was barely relapsed. By then, my relationship was off, a little rocky. And I packed up a U-Haul truck and I was going to move to Bakersfield. I was I was clean already for a while already. I would say I was clean already for 5 years, or 2 years. Every time I get to 2 years, I relapse. So I get a 2-year mark and then I relapse because I have it down packed. And never really worked the program. Just I got clean and that was it. And I ended up getting loaded. And 4 days in, I packed the U-Haul because the bounty hunters are looking for me. I was going to move to Bakersfield because Bakersfield has no drugs. And I don't know nobody. I was going to start my life over. My daughter was in Utah with Cindy, which is my ex. They were in Utah. She's watching me on the camera, pack up all my stuff And mind you, I don't have my kid. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was on a super good. I think the drugs were really good back then at that time. And I packed up my dogs, put my dog in the car, and I GPS how to get to Bakersfield, and I end up on the 395, totally different freeway. But I think about her now that I'm glad I wasn't on the 5 freeway because I think I probably would have been dead because I was asleep. On that run, I was in Utah in another car, and I came back, and I don't even know how I drove back from Utah all the way back to my house in Pomona because I was asleep the whole time. I swear, I don't know how I made it back.
It's the Holy Ghost
It's a
looking out
Holy
for
Ghost.
you.
Yep, yeah, the Holy Ghost, literally. And so at that time when I got back, at that time I had my stepdad's car because he was a drug addict, and I think I got him an 8 ball, and he let me use his Honda Accord, and went to Utah to go do whatever I did, and I came back, rented a U-Haul, and I ended up going head-on collision with the semi truck.
Dang.
And I don't remember. So at that time I blamed it on the alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't drink, and I think I was drinking that time, and I had a bunch of stuff in the car. I had drugs, money, checks, a bunch of stuff that was illegal. And at the time, my name was I had different names, and I think my name was I don't know what name it was, but all my IDs had different names with the same picture though. Right, same picture with different names. I always had IDs made, and ended up crashing though, and I came on the Victor Valley News on a coma for 2 days. My mom, at the time, my mom was looking for me because no matter what, loaded or not, I always call my mom. I always call my mom, and I crashed on the 8th, and her birthday's on the 9th. And my mom was like, something's going on. Angie's not calling me. And they were looking for me. They didn't know where I was. They were calling people looking for me. Nobody knew where I was. And when I woke up out of the coma after 2 days, I gave my mom's number.
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally played chicken on that 395.
Dang.
And I don't
That's
remember.
the one that comes from High Desert to Lancaster, Palmdale, right?
Mm-hmm.
My niece just died on that road.
No way. Well, they
Head-on
said
collision.
they said that's a lot of
Death
accidents
trap,
happen on that
yeah.
freeway. Yeah.
It's dark, pitch black
Yeah.
too.
And it was during the day at that time too. So, but they said that's like everybody,
Yeah.
a lot of crashes because it's only one. It's one
Yeah,
way.
Two lanes, just one and one.
So the thing about semi trucks that they can't stop, they can't brake. You just have to go. And you know what? And I don't like wearing seatbelts. I don't like wearing seatbelts, and I just happened to be a seatbelt that day because if I believe that if I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, I would have flew out the car. And I had 2 of my dogs in the car. One of them passed away because she likes to sleep. He likes to sleep at my feet. His name's Shorty, and I love that. That was the first dog I ever had, and I fell in love with that dog. And then I have Princess, where she likes to sleep at my neck. And Princess survived. And the only reason why we found her because they put her like on the adopting to adopt a dog on Victorville's like page, like dogs that are missing or you want to rent. And she survived, and she's still alive till today. She's my dog that's stayed with me through all my little wars. Yeah, but I crashed, and at that time, I prayed to God after coming out of it. Please, God, let me out of this situation. I promise. I tell you, every time I have a God is when I'm in a situation. But the doctors told me that you won't be able to walk no more. Like you're not going to walk no more. Like you're going to be in a wheelchair. I have my hospital pictures. That's on my like the pictures that you share. I was broken leg, broken arm, collapsed lungs, broken ribs. I think the only thing that didn't get messed up was my face.
And they had you in the neck brace and everything too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah. I still struggle with my left foot still. I'm still working on still trying to get it fixed after all these years still. But I remember saying that if you let me walk again, I promise I'll be good. And I remember praying a lot, and they say prayers are powerful, and I had a lot of people praying for me too. And sometimes I take things for granted sometimes, and I don't. I feel like I'm the little girl that cried wolf to Jesus all the time because I'm always like, please, 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 and then I'm always like, okay, give me what I want, bye, And he let me walk again. I was able to walk again, and once I was able to walk again, Angie got loaded again. Yeah.
Your normal routine.
Normal routine. The drugs are more powerful.
Especially now being in pain. Shoot, you're looking for any kind of thing to take that pain. I mean, that's what we use for, I mean, truth be told, it's not necessarily just the good feeling. It's the numbing part. It's that numbing part.
Yeah, because you don't like. I think about. I was like, I don't ever just want to be I always don't want to. Back then, I didn't identify never wanted to be me. Like I was always something. I was always like ran by drugs, a person, a situation, the streets. Always just never ever just loving Angie. Like I never knew how to love me because I was never loved right. So I didn't even know what real love was. Even I was always like, I was always chasing love. Like love was, I think that's what we all, like, we're just human nature to always want love. And I think this time around now, I love the shit out. I love myself today. I literally love myself today. Where before I all those other times, you don't, if I love myself, I wouldn't have been putting myself the stuff that I put myself through. So after I got in that accident, the drugs were calling me again. And I couldn't stop. I didn't care about my kid no more again. But one thing I did do as a parent though, so I did keep my kid in sports. Like I kept Felicity in playing baseball. I cut her and she was playing tackle football, softball, wrestling, because they were my babysitters. They were legit my babysitters.
And she enjoyed it.
And she enjoyed it. So that's one thing I did do at Felicity. And then especially when to school, she still played sports, like, baseball. And I was always present, but not present, but I was present, but not always present. But I was still there for her when it mattered. Half dead, but still there.
Yeah. So tell us, how did you end up getting, tell us how you end up getting into the program. I know you're like diehard NA now, and you're just surrounded by people that are, in this fight, man.
Yeah, I love NA. I'll say it all the time. I'm thankful for the program, grateful for the program.
So tell us how you got there, though.
So what happened was, what happened?
Did you end up going back to prison at all after you continued using?
Yeah, because I was out on bail. Remember the accident?
Oh, yeah.
So the bounty hunters ended up finding me. The bounty hunters ended up finding me, and they seen that I was man down. They're like, "Oh, we're not taking this girl in." So as soon as I was able to walk again, I end up getting loaded, going around and hanging out with people that I shouldn't be hanging out with. Because you always have those friends waiting for you, waiting for you. With I just hope that whoever, like, now today, I don't have those friends no more. And I love myself enough not to go around those people that use drugs. So I end up like going back and using and doing what I usually do, criminal activity, and then end up getting arrested again. And I picked up another prison term. But this time you don't go to prison anymore. You do your prison time in county jail. And that was my wake-up call. That was my wake-up call for me. And sitting in county jail was no joke.
Was that AB 109 or what was that?
No. If it's now, like, if it's not a white collar, if it's a white collar crime and it's not a violent offense, they're keeping you there. Like there's people doing like 10 years in that county jail.
Dang.
Yeah.
And this was in Linwood?
Linwood, yeah.
Okay.
Linwood, yeah. So I ended up doing my third prison term in county jail, and that was the best prison term I've ever did.
Not too many people would say that about being in the county jail.
At the time that it was happening, I cried. I wanted to go home. Please, God, get me out of this situation. What am I doing? Please, and I'm not really a Bible person or to read Bible or go to church. I feel like my higher power is outside of a church, and I feel like my higher power is around me, all around. And I pray, like, and He's surrounded by me, so I do my higher power through NA. And like that's how I find my higher power. But there is a story where God puts us in situations where we have to sit with self. You know what I mean? And I think that's why jails are there for, so that we're able to sit with ourselves, and hopefully a light bulb will click.
Yeah.
And at this time, this third prison term, I was older already. I was in this relationship. I have bills. I have a house. I have like a car payments. Like I have things that even though I'm getting loaded, like I still had the significant other that I was with that still kept me afloat. So I still, like, I wasn't out on the streets. Like I still had stuff only because I was in this relationship that I drug her through all this, but she still kept me afloat because she was a normie. She worked, she had money, like she supported me, like she kept things going for me. I was just a little knucklehead that couldn't get it together. But now that I'm so grateful for this opportunity to do this last prison term, because that's where my growth began. That's when I got like a total wake-up call, and this was 9 years ago. And I'm beyond blessed for the the counselors, the sheriffs, there's the whole place in Linwood Jail that has all these programs now that are able to give us life skills.
Yeah.
And when I was there, they said, you're going to go to the working dorm. And there I am with the boot because I'm still handicapped, right? So I get arrested with the boot. And if you go, you get a little time knocked off. And I'm like, shit, I can't go to the working dorm because I can't work.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the only thing was to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated school. I ran from school. I school was just not my thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, I sucked at school. I didn't think I was good enough at school. You know, we don't want to go to school. Like we hate it. Like we want to just ditch school. And so I went to school and I showed up to class and I said, I'm going to graduate. I don't know how, but I'm going to graduate. It was just to kill time. And that smart little brain of mine applied smartness.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up fucking graduating. And I ended up graduating my blues.
Yeah.
And my county blues. And I remember, like, I want my crease down blues. This is how I iron my blues. I got my blues. How we would iron our blues in county jail was we'd get a little plastic bag, put it out, and we put it under our mattress and lay on it for a couple days until we got the creases in there.
Yep.
So we got the crispy. I want some crispy blues. And that's when I got my wake-up call. That's when I started feeling good about myself.
That you could do this.
I could do this. For me, I always have to get motivated by something.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always has to be like a motivation for me. So graduating. So when I graduated, I was like, dang, I'm smart. I'm smart. I'm like, oh my God, I graduated. Like a dope fiend drug addict that was just gonna be in the streets all her life, graduated.
Yeah. And your mom was able to be there with you.
Yes,
huh?
and my mom was able to be there. So my mom, that was the one thing with my mom. And you know what? I always been the bad kid out of my sisters because there's 3 of us. And I was always the black sheep of the family, the bad one. And out of all my sisters, I don't know if they're watching, but I graduated. Haha. And you didn't. Just like, no. I was the only one that graduated. And it was amazing because like I never ever thought that I could do something like that for like a dope fiend like me to graduate high school. And it was just never ever thought of.
Yeah.
And I feel that's where my real growth began because now I felt like, and when I was in there, they had like these sewing classes. And I said, when I get out, I want to sew. So I was sewing like clothes in there. I made clothes. I made myself an outfit. I was like, dude, I want to be a fashion designer. Like Angie, like I get these ideas all the time. Like I want to, like right now I want to be a truck driver. So now I'm going to sign up for truck driving school.
Okay.
Like
Camino Real? Where are you going?
I don't know. I have to look into it. I need
Camino Real on Valley Boulevard.
Yeah. Okay. That's when I want to go to. Yeah. So
that's where all the girls used to go for full tip.
That's where I'm going next. I'm going to sign
Camino
up.
Real.
Yeah. So so when I get this little thing in my head, like I just want to like I go all in. When I put my mind to something, even when it came to drugs, even when it came to doing fraud, or just when it came to do anything, like I'm going to make it happen. And it might take a little longer, but I remember like sitting there sewing clothes and making clothes, sewing stuff. And not only did I graduate, but I learned how to sew. So when I got out, I was like, I want to be a fashion designer. Like I want to go to school. And I got out, I graduated, I got out of county jail, and I got connected with NA, and I got a sponsor, and I started fellowshipping and started going to meetings. And that's what it is, like showing up for self and finding your people. In the rooms, you find people that love you until you're able to love yourself. You know, because sometimes a lot of people like me, we come in broken with no hope. Abandonment issues, not feeling good enough, betrayed, have trust issues. Who am I going to depend on? Don't trust nobody but yourself. Me, I'm like, okay, I'll trust you until you show me different. I've always been like that. I've always been an open book with everybody. I'm not ashamed of my story. I'm not ashamed about being ghetto. I'm not ashamed about I'm just not ashamed of anything that I've been through. Like I'm crazy. The way I'm crazy here on camera, I'm crazy like that in real life.
Man, even more so. Right now, she's like at a 5 right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start playing some music right now. She'll go to like an 8. You know what I'm saying? You start saying her name, she will go like to a 9. Yeah. Yeah, she'll take it there.
Yeah. And I do it clean. And I do it clean and sober. You know, I always thought like you needed alcohol to have a good time. I'm like, no, this is natural. I'm like high on life. And it's amazing that I'm like that, right? So like I get out, I get out, and I said, I want to do something with myself. Like, I get connected with the program,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, I'm going to enroll to college. Because now I think I'm a badass now because I got a high school diploma
Yeah,
now. Now I could get financial aid because I have a high school diploma. I could get money. There's always a motivation for it. Like they said, you could get money, and you could, if you go to college, you get money. And then I'm like, you get money, because it was always like that before. Because when I had Section 8, like when I got like welfare for my
Yeah.
daughter, I was balling. I was getting like $500 cash. Then I was getting like $200 food stamps. My rent was $89. I was a baller. So when they told me there always had to be, because when we're using, we don't have money.
Mm-mm.
Like we don't have money. Like we smoke that.
We get money, but then it's gone.
It's
Like, where
gone.
did it
Like we
go?
do
That
not
quick.
have money. Like we
Yeah.
don't save. We don't do nothing. Everything goes on dope, and that's it. And then if whatever's extra, I'll buy my kid an outfit, or diapers, or formula,
Mhm.
or whatever extra. But we blow our money like crazy. So when they told me you'll get financial aid, I was like, and then
How
I see
much?
a lot too.
Yeah.
A
No,
lot
I
too.
was saying your first response was, how much money?
I know, yeah. No, but when you push it in and all that, I was like, I'm balling now. We get school, so there was, but in order to keep that money, you had to
Had to go
keep
to
on going
school.
to school.
Mm.
And so what I did, I signed up for school, and I signed up for all the fun classes, arts. I was for fashion. I learned how to sew. I was taking these sewing classes, and I had this professor. And all it takes is one person to believe in you. When I share my story, I might not, like, what I've learned is that there could be a room full of 100 people, and you might not touch 99 of them, but if you touch one of them, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that, because sometimes I get a little uncomfortable when I share that my story's not good enough. I'm not good enough to speak. Even when I came on here, nobody's gonna want to hear what I say. Like, nobody's want to hear my story. But it's not about reaching the whole world. If you just reach one person, you did your job. And so I went to college, and there was one professor that believed in me. She was my fashion design professor, and she told me, you want to work for me? And I'm like, work for me? And I'm like, he's like, you want to be a TA? And I'm like, I can't be a TA. Like, I have a rap sheet. I was honest with her. I was like, I've been to prison 3 times. I won't be able to, you won't hire me here. And she's like, no, I'll get you in. And it took that one professor to feed a lot of positive stuff in my head. Graduate, take classes. Don't waste your time here. What are you doing? Don't just sit here and do nothing with your life. Graduate with your associates. And I'm like, I can't even pass math. I can't even write a paper. Like, that's some like hard stuff to do. And I applied it. I started loving myself, and I knew that myself was worthy. Like, I knew that I was worthy enough to graduate with to get an associate's.
That's right.
And I put in work, and then I graduated with my associates, not with one, but 2 associates, like a drug and alcohol and a fashion design.
That's right.
Yeah.
The extremes of that.
Yeah, the extremes. Yeah, the extremes of that. And I did that. I started working with her. I was working at Mount Sac College, and I love working with kids. I was teaching people how to sew, how to design clothes. I can make an outfit from top from bottom. Do I do that? No, because it's cheaper to buy an outfit. It takes a lot of time to make an outfit. And
hey, were you a part of the Rising Scholars?
No, so let me tell you, it wasn't there when I was there.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't get lucky to get all those extra fundamental stuff that everybody's getting today.
Okay. Because I went and spoke at Mount Sac, and I was like, damn, this is a pretty good program, right?
I know. I went and I was like, this was not here when I was here. Yeah. I just got the regular financial aid and called it a day. And when I graduated, it was just like.
So you stood there at Mount Sac for how long?
I stood at Mount Sac for 4 years.
4 years?
4 years.
Wow. That is so
years.
awesome.
4 years. Yeah, 4 years. And at that time, I was still connected with with NA, working with my sponsor. I have a sponsorship family, going to meetings. I love going to conventions. I love going to convention dances. I love going to NA functions. I'm a real, I love seeing women just conquer the world. And I love the men in the rooms too. Like, I always show, they're like, Angie, you hang out with a lot of men. I said, yeah, you may see me hang out with a lot of the men, but that's all it is. It's just friends. I said, because I feel like when I hang out with the men in the rooms, they teach me how it should be treated as a woman.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And if the people that don't, and it's true. Like, because you need men in your life so that sometimes they teach you how to be loved, but without like expectations of wanting to get down your pants or or stuff like that. Like I always say, I'm one of the guys. Stop being gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, you also do I don't want to say nursing, but you take care of
Yeah, I take care of elderly.
what is that called?
Caretaking.
Caretaking. Yeah, you do that as well, right?
Yeah. So I went to school to do all this, and then when I was working at Mount Sac, COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no jobs. Everything shut. The school shut down. I was doing online classes with students, and it was just really complicated to teach kids how to like pattern make and stuff like that because we literally shut down. And so the only thing was to go to caretaking because caretaking they don't shut down. They need caretakers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took on that job, and it was just working with the elderly is just the most amazing eye opener, best experience that anybody could do.
You are so funny when you're dealing with these people. I'll be like, Angie's crazy.
Yeah, the way I am now, the way I am in the streets, that's how I am with the old lady. I'm all shaking my butt, like I'm over like this, and all dancing.
You're cooking and you're dancing. You're telling the lady, steer that up. I'm like, this girl is too much.
No, but she teaches me. I'm like,
Yeah.
where do I find a sugar daddy at? And she's like, the 99-cent store. I'm like, the 99-cent store. I'm like, where else? She's like, the movie theater. I'm like, movie theater.
That's funny.
Yeah, I love working with Mary. I've been with her for the last, since COVID.
So you only have one person?
Only one person.
Okay.
I had another one. Faithful to her. I had another one before he passed away on me, which is he died of cancer. His cancer hit him real quick. So
you know, it's great. There's a few of you Walton House sisters that do that actually.
Yeah.
I know the other sister, Darlene. I don't know if she was there when you were there, but Darlene, she does that too.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember Darlene. No.
Yeah, I think she came in later on. When I was doing so after maintenance, I went back and was the father's I was the father's case manager. I ended up becoming becoming like a counselor, but what my job was.
So we weren't fixing toilets no more.
I wasn't fixing toilets.
Damn,
well, I was still doing that though. Yeah. I was still doing that because Felix was lagging.
I love Felix.
That was my brother. I know I miss him. That was my boy.
Rest in peace, Felix.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't think he ever worked though. Yeah, he was at Alaska. I'm like, when do you work? This thing.
No, that was my boy though. Mm-hmm. But yeah. But man, I am so proud of you, Angie, for reals, man, because you are an inspiration to so many people. And like I started off, people don't know your story. They don't know why you're so excited and so grateful and that attitude of gratitude. And you know what? Maybe you did struggle as a young mother, man, but I see the love of your daughter when she's with you and the things you make her do. You know what I'm saying? And she's still like, oh my God, there's my mom. Like, there's no shame in her game.
Yeah. So with my daughter, she's 24 years old now. And with that comes a lot of challenges because a lot of resentments come in as you're, like you weren't there for me and learning how to communicate with her on a level where I'm not so much of you should act this way. It's more of she's teaching me how to, Mom, listen to what I'm saying. Like, just listen. Sometimes all I need is an ear. Just listen. And so like today I get to take my daughter on trips and
just got back from Mexico
City, amazing city. You guys need to go to Mexico City. It's a lot of history. It's amazing there. I took her on a cruise I try to do things so that I can rebuild because sometimes she can be really mean sometimes with me and I get my feelings hurt and I have to look at myself and be like, okay, it's part of the process, the healing process. And I just have to be patient with her and just know that I did a lot of damage. As a little kid, but all I can do now is living amends. Sometimes I like to parent out of guilt and I just want to give sometimes. And I feel like that's an easier Band-Aid, but all I can do is just keep on doing a living amends by being clean. And I'm learning that everything will fall in place as long as I keep on doing good.
Yeah.
And like today I have like 9 years clean. I have 9 years clean.
Let me put that up right there.
My clean date is September 21st, 2015.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Dude, sometimes I'm like, dang, how did I don't know. Like, it's just amazing sometimes. I just put in the work and I did it, and I have people I even have people that are here that are here supporting me. Like, Angie right here is like, I met her in the program and she's been by my side through everything, through the breakup. I was in that relationship and for a lot of years. And sometimes when you're in a relationship, you don't think you can make it without that person. And I never thought that I could make it on my own, because when you're in a toxic relationship sometimes, and like you give it all to something, and I just thought that I could never make it on my own clean. And these last 2 years, I've been doing it on my own.
Yeah.
I literally been doing it on my own without feeling like I'm not good enough. Because I feel like when you get controlled by a situation or individual or something that you can't, I thought I was just gonna leave and get loaded, because that's what Angie does. When Angie's feeling broken inside, or not feeling good, and I just want to run and get loaded. But I feel like I have developed enough tools in my little tool belt, my little handy dandy tool belt, that I applied them. I freaking applied them. And I have other people here, like another my Crystal's here right now too. She's one of my best friends right here too, and we've been getting loaded together, and getting clean, and watching her go through her life. And these women that I let hang around with me, if they're around me, is because I believe in them, and I plant the seed in everybody that I'm around. And like Vanessa was another one I got loaded with, and she's doing amazing too. Like.
That's right.
And I have an amazing sponsorship family that I run to, that I meet up with all the time. And if it wasn't for the women here, because it's a we program, but the women are the ones that are going to save you. Like for the men, like the men are the ones that are going to save you. And I just have to always be open. When I come in, if somebody hurts, because a lot of people come in here, I see a lot of people like, oh, fuck that, like, or forget her, or that, this, that, this. And, it's never ever, we all relapse off character defects daily.
Yeah.
Character defects, that's all it is. Like, we have these character defects, and we're so quick to judge, so quick to point fingers, so quick to just do a whole lot of damage. And all it takes is just to communicate. Like, we get older and we learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like, I didn't know how to communicate. Like, you hurt my feelings right away. It was like, F you, F you, F you, that, and they didn't know how to use the right words to be like, hey, you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Or, hey, did I do something wrong to hurt you? Or just communicate. So as we get older and I get mature, yes, I know how to be mature. As we get older and we get mature, I don't like to be mature, but because I want to be a Toys R Us kid forever. But as you get older, we learn how to use their proper language without doing any damage.
Yeah. You come a long way, most definitely, though. Most definitely. Like I said, since 2007, knowing you, it's crazy. And it's a small world in our field of recovery. And when Angie went out, and everybody knew about it. But you know how it is, though. When we say our creed and we say our prayer, we remember them caught in the crossfire, and them that are still out there, battling. And when I would see you pop back up, I was like, there she is. Let's see how she's doing. Because like you said, every 2 years, Angie knew how to self-sabotage.
Yeah.
And you had to. You just weren't applying. You weren't, putting that first priority.
I'm a poster. I like to put everything on social media. So if I go MIA on social media, I'm loaded.
Hey, just real quick. Hey, so we're about an hour and a half into this interview. We're opening up the phone line, so go ahead and call in if you would like to, share some positive feedback with Angie, or just say hello. We are here. So phone lines are going to be opening up right now. All right.
It's been an hour and a half already?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulty in the beginning, but
also that took like a whole half hour. God,
that wasn't no half hour. That was like right. 15 minutes.
Just like
But yeah, Angie, man, I for reals, I really admire like your transition through all of that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, my whole reason being on here is, me bringing you on here is because you do have a story of hope that, what, we can get better.
Yeah.
And it's not so much of just getting better, but we heal in the process, because by far, myself included, I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
I would be a fool to think that I'm there, but every day I'm working the steps. Every day, I'm being accountable. Every day, I'm waking up with an attitude of gratitude because, shoot, my days of gang banging and being shot and stabbed and, sentenced to life, for at 16 years old, no job skills or nothing. People wouldn't expect me to succeed the way I'm succeeding. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's possible.
Yeah. Well, what made you when the judge told me you come back, I'm giving you 6 years. I was like, definitely not coming back. Definitely. And another thing, get a dog. If you got a dog, get a dog. I have a little dog, Roach. I love him to death. I have 3 other dogs, but Roach has been my healing dog for this last 2 years. Go to the gym. I'm a gym rat. I love the gym. Sometimes we get a little like when we get big. So what happens? I put down the needle and picked up a spoon, and I blew up to 190 pounds. And I lost weight naturally, and I just love the gym. It's the best, 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 best therapy.
And you go
for me.
early in the
I go
morning,
early
huh?
in the morning. Yeah.
So you go like 5:30 or something. I'm
Mhm.
waking up like, dang, Angie's already on that bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
She already throwing that ball.
Yeah. I go to the gym, and then I start work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then get off at 4. If I go to the gym all day, I'll be at the gym all day, but I can't.
Even when you travel, I'm like, man, this girl's on a ship and she's still at the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
This girl's
So
in
today,
Mexico.
so like today we get to travel. So like today, like in February, I'm going to Thailand.
Wow.
And I went to I went on the journey where I went to Turkey and Greece.
That
and
was
like
nice.
started the footsteps of Paul. In March, I'm going to Alaska. Yeah, so like I just want to travel the world. All I need to do now is find a job that I can work from home remotely, because my journey is to travel the world. I would love to do that, but it costs money.
Yeah, costs.
Yeah, it costs money.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
But it's worth saving up for.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth,
Definitely.
Yeah. And you're doing it with your daughter, man. That's pretty cool.
I know.
That's really, really cool, And like you said, parenting out of guilt, sometimes we'd be like, oh, I'm gonna take you here, whatever. But I think she knows the sincerity of you and her bonding in that moment, because shoot, you could take any of your girls with you at any given time, you know what I'm saying? But you choose to roll with your daughter, and that's that's important. And I'm sure
like
she sees
like
that.
we're like all you have to do, like if you're struggling out there and you're using, all you like, I know it's the hardest thing to do is just stop using. I said, but once you stop using, everything just falls into place. It's just amazing how everything just falls into place. Like I look at myself sometimes like how did I get here? It's because I'm doing the right things, and it's always doing the right things too, and nobody's looking too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just keeping
That's
yourself
integrity.
accountable.
Yeah.
Integrity, keeping yourself accountable, and things just fall into place. Sometimes, mind you, I don't think that every day is a perfect day for me, and don't think that every day I wake up and I'm just this one big bubble of joy. But I know that once I leave my house, once I walk out my front door, and I'm not putting any bad day on anybody.
Oh, somebody's going. Hold on real quick.
You guys can go.
Thank you for calling in. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Are you guys crank calling me? Just playing.
Hello? Can't hear them. Let me see if they're there. Hold on. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on real quick. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let's do something real quick. Sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. Let me try to switch you over. Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
Another technical difficulty.
Wait, it should be on. Hold on. Sorry about that. Hold on. If you can still hear me. We're just gonna put you on speaker. Okay, go ahead and talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
Okay, this is Christina. Oh. I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to tell Angie that I'm proud of her and I love her. And can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you. Okay. Oh, Christina,
you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
We can hear you. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to tell Angelina that I'm proud of her, and I think she's a great inspiration to a lot of us that are in the program. A lot of us that came from where she came from. So I just wanted to tell her that I love her. Aww. And that I'm proud of her, because by her sharing her story,
there's a lot of people out there that need to hear it. So, and it gives us inspiration to know that there is hope. So thank you.
Oh, I love you too.
And I love you. Yeah. And everything she said is true.
It's not fake. It's not fake. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
a
no,
lie.
I'm already knowing.
She's not, no, I'm here to verify.
Hey, you put my trademark on my.
Yeah, she's co-signing you.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, she's co-signing you're crazy.
Yeah. She's yeah.
But,
She's 5150 me.
no, but I want to say it takes a lot of courage to do that, to tell your story. And you told everything.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to tell you that I love you and I'm proud of you for doing that, because it takes a lot of courage to share that, you know. And but there's a lot of people hurting out there that are going through the same thing, and they need to hear it, and they need to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, you know.
Yes.
And that they can't leave before the miracle happens.
Yes.
So so I thank you for doing that.
Oh.
And I love you.
Love you too.
Okay. All right, and I'll call you later.
Bye.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you for calling in.
Oh, that was cool. Who's she? How's she?
So Christina, I met her. So another, you know me, when I get attached to these females, and I'm like, okay, now we're hanging out. Now we're gonna do good. We're gonna be better. We're gonna we're just gonna grow up together. And her brother, I used to party with in my apartment. So he's from La Puente too. And then I met her, and then her brother was another. He's amazing. He's coming up on a year clean, and just amazing. Another miracle I got to watch.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So she grew up in La Puente too. So
that's
La Puente
cool.
family, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. I get a lot of guests sometimes, and I don't even know they're from La Puente. And next thing I know, they're like, "Yeah, La Puente." I was like,
"Yeah,
I know where that's at."
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
You know, but as we get more time and we mature and we grow up, and for real, I never thought my life would change. I never thought I would be the person I am today. Sometimes I get shocked, and like even watching the video on my county blues, you know, like I came out on Crime Watch. That's when I came out on Crime Watch. Funny. I came out on Crime Watch. I did a whole interview in LA County Jail, and I happened to him. I'm like, hey, I was the tattoo removal. I was getting my tramp stamp in my back removed. But I stopped that shit. That hurts to get tattoo removal. Hurts so bad. But another awesome program that Linwood County Jail had, removing tattoos for free in there. So I'm like, sign me up, get out of my cell.
Hey, did you see Yvonne in there when you were in Linwood?
So Yvonne Belair, yeah. So So no, Yvonne.
Well, you worked with her in Saska.
So Yvonne wasn't there yet. She wasn't inside. No, it was. But there was women that came in there, and I still talk. I get out, and they see me like, oh my god, you came a long way, Angie, because they see me when I was arrested, and they're in the program too, and I get to see them today too. It's all about meeting people and staying connected. A lot of us, as we just want to isolate ourselves, and we don't want to reach out.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that no matter what I went through, no matter how many people broke my trust or did me dirty, or just like what I went through, I didn't get a heart of like a cold heart. Like I still have a loving heart.
Yeah.
A loving heart, no matter. I always come out of love. What I do now, I embrace the newcomers. I love the newcomers, and the newcomer around here in NA. We call them in the Narcotics Anonymous, we call the people that barely come back, or that identify as, barely getting clean. We call them the newcomers. And I feel like they're the most important people in the rooms, because it reminds me that if they're coming back, it's no good out there.
So with you being as busy as you are, and I know you have your sponsor, but have you sponsored any ladies?
So amazing. So I took on my first sponsor. I have a sponsee. I don't know if she's watching. I don't know if I send her a thing, but she'll watch it. I took on my first sponsee. I've been with her for 4 or 5 days already.
Oh, 4 or 5 days. Okay.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days already. And I was real nervous about it. And I told her, call me for 30 days and we'll take it from there. So I had her journal her emotions, her feelings. And I told her, because I feel like I could give really, really good advice. Like I feel like I do it already. So I want to help this person out. So I told her, call me for 30 days. I told her to journal her thoughts every day, even if it's just like, I hate this day, or I'm having a good day, or you want to write a whole page, or just write down your feelings. And I said, in a year from now, if we're still together, we're going to go back in that journal, and we're going to look at and see how much growth you had.
Yeah.
So I love the, there's like somebody talking in the background.
I know.
But yeah, it's my first sponsee.
Excited.
She's excited. I'm excited.
It's more responsibility than that dog of yours, right?
Oh, I love my dog.
I know.
I love my dog. The only thing about me,
The
I
reason
know.
why I say that though is because I remember my first mentee, and I felt like, what am I going to tell this fool? Like, I know words are powerful. Our advice is powerful to somebody that's, you know, barely starting off and stuff. And it takes us a minute to like, well, let me go back and let me do what my mentor did for me to get me to where I'm at today. And I'll just add my twist to it. Hopefully not to jack this up, right? But yeah, so I'm very proud of you for taking on that, because it's not something that you take lightly.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be time and effort. It's
I'm
going to be
like, I don't
sweat
know
and
if I'm grown
tears.
up enough to do that. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
I feel like I do it anyways, like with the people in my life,
Mhm.
and I feel like me being a positive. I've always tried to be positive. Like once I walk, like I was saying, once I walk out of my house and I leave that front door, I don't even know that grouchiness out inside. I can sit at home miserable all day if I wanted to.
Mhm.
But when I leave my house, I try to always have a positive attitude. It's barely rare that you'll ever see me grouchy, huh? It's hardly ever.
I know.
It's hardly ever. I'm always like this upbeat, like, what are we gonna do today? Like just like excited.
Yeah.
Even at
Full of
work.
energy. Full of energy.
And yeah, because then they'll be like, why like you didn't like I didn't talk before. I was stuck. I was stuck in a garage. I was stuck in a whole motel room. I was stuck in a U-Haul. I was stuck in a something,
Mhm.
just stuck.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get loaded. That's all I wanted was to get loaded. And I'm an adult now. I'm growing up.
Yeah. It's a trip. I trip out, like, when I see you traveling and stuff, I'm like, I wonder what she's thinking right now. I wonder, because addiction, I mean, pretty much, man, it's the same as doing a life term, just, I mean,
It is.
it pretty much is, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like life and death situations. It's like you don't know if you're ever, I mean, when you're in your addiction, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's hard to see any positive results coming out from what you do day in, day out, And I think about you when you're traveling, like, do you sit back sometimes and just blown away, where you just have
Dude.
that moment of just like,
Oh.
this isn't real?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get here? Like how am I on a plane going somewhere to another country? And I always said like somebody like, how do you have money to go travel? I'm like, dude, I had no money getting loaded. I had no money getting loaded.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
I don't mind going on a trip. I deserve that.
Yeah.
I think we all deserve that. I think everybody should
Yeah.
book a trip, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I'm sitting there on vacation, I'm getting on a plane, I'm like just giving praise to God, like just giving praise, like thank you. It's all about like thank you because like I was dead. I was literally a dead man walking
Yeah.
all those years.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was just gonna party and be a tweaker forever.
Mhm.
That's just the way my life was planned out to be.
Yeah. I remember when you were doing your tie dyeing in Campland, and
Oh yeah.
my
Oh,
wife, my
I
wife,
was going to Campland. So it's like
my wife was like, "Look at her, she's only act like a little girl." I said, "Babe, I'm telling you, that's because I know the story,
yeah.
you know."
Uh-huh.
And I told her she's just grateful. That's just that
Yeah.
attitude of gratitude right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like sometimes a little kid, sometimes an adult, sometimes I can be it just depends what I'm around, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. And you know what? You're gonna go through things that you've been through, but now you have the tools. So you have the accountability, you have the circle. You have a mentee that's depending upon you to do the right
Mhm.
thing now. That's a
Mhm.
big deal.
Yeah.
It really is. That's one of the main things. Every time I get a stupid thought in my head or I want to do something dumb, I always think of all the people that I've spoken into their lives and how I'll let them down. And I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that talk of like, man, did you hear? I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, for real, that's like one of my main especially my kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you have motivated so many people. Like Jojo, you have motivated so many people. Like you're such a big you're a mentor to me sometimes too. Like I'm grateful for you. We'll always be family forever. We call each other family.
Family. We
Family
family.
forever. And we graduated from the same program. We'll always be connected like that.
Yep.
And so like, I didn't maybe do a lot of time in prison, but like anybody that did a lot of time in prison and came out and just be because sometimes people get institutionalized,
Mhm.
like what really gave me a wake up call was that stepdad that I was talking about, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like we were looking for him. He went missing, and we were looking for him. And I thought he was just a drug addict that was never ever gonna die. Like one of those, those drug addicts that just did everybody dirty. That you just did,
Yeah.
broke people's homes and and people like that don't die. And but fentanyl's out there and it's killing people.
Yeah.
And we were looking for him. We put flyers out. We were in Skid Row looking for him. We couldn't find him nowhere. And my mom remembers saying, "Oh, I remember he said he can park at Echo Park." And he had this truck. He just bought himself a truck. I don't know how, but he got clean for a little bit, bought himself a truck. And my mom called. We were already leaving. We gave up. And somebody was like walking saying, "Oh, he's dead." And we're like, "He's dead? How do you know he's like?" So we're just getting all these walking it down Skid Row. And my mom went to Echo Park. Right when we were leaving, she's like, "I found his truck. I found him. I found him." And my mom found him and we went, but he's like, he's not moving. He's not moving. So we went to Echo Park and he was decomposed in his truck for a whole month.
Dang.
I have never, ever seen a dead body, smelled a dead body, never. The smell was in my hair after I left the scene. And he had no face. He was swollen,
Dang.
but we found him. And we found him and we got, that was somebody that flipped our world upside down. Like, he took my mom through the ringer. I mean, he broke our home apart. My mom, my mom, when you love somebody hard, you love somebody
Yeah.
hard. And I don't ever like hold that against her anymore because I put myself in a situation like this too. When you love somebody and you're going to stick it through. And I believe that he died in order for me to live. And I don't think if he would have died, I probably would still be using because fentanyl kills. And at that time when I got clean, fentanyl wasn't out yet. And I'm glad that fentanyl wasn't out.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I got clean before fentanyl came out because I probably would. I literally really believe that I would be dead. Even today, if I use, I'll die. There's no ifs, buts. Because I already know what kind of drug user I am.
Yeah.
So. And I have family that love me. I'm real connected with my family. We go to my grandma's house for Christmas, Thanksgiving.
You're wanted now.
Yeah, I'll break a lot of people's hearts if I was to go out and do something so selfishly, just because I want that one fix. When I have people that are praying and that are proud of me and that just love to see me alive.
Yeah.
So I can't. I just won't.
Yeah, you come a long way. You need to continue, with that self-motivation and the self-care that you apply to yourself because it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Oh, join a book club too. If you're not, join a book club. Join a book club.
Shout out to Christina.
Yeah. Just playing. Join a book club. Book club is another one that keeps my mind quiet at times. When I get lost in a book, I love reading a book. That's another thing I do. Besides that, I never thought that so sitting with self, sometimes that little committee in my head goes a little too fast sometimes. And it doesn't know how to simmer down. And I find if it's a good enough book, I get lost in it. And it takes me to a whole nother world and a whole nother story out of my head, out of everybody else's story. And I get lost into somebody else's story. So that's another thing to do.
Yeah. Did you read in prison?
Yes, I wrote a lot of books in prison.
Okay.
I loved it. Nora Roberts was my books to read.
Oh yeah.
A lot of those jail books were more like sexual books. I'm like, oh my God, why? They were. It's all those naughty books. I did it. Yeah, Nora Roberts was up there. That author just writes dirty, like just. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I was in prison, we had books, but the books were like split up. So they're like, I need like 30 to 40. Who has page 30 to 40? I have it. I'm almost done. You're like, all right. And you finish it. And like books were just spread around. That's how we would read books.
Yeah. No, us girls, we had all the pages.
Yeah, not us. We used to have to gather the book page by page.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes like, who has this? It'd be completely gone. We're like, damn, we just got to, make up our own chapter,
Yeah. No. Us jail, we had a, matter of fact, when I was at CIW, when I first did my first prison term at CIW, that was the first time ever when they took smoking away from when they took all smoking out.
When was that? That was like 95. Well, no, when was that? Like 95?
Yeah. You're good with dates. I'm not.
I think it was like 95.
Well, they took cigarettes from around. Now it happened to be that at the time everybody had to stop cold turkey. And I remember there's a gutter in the middle of right there in the middle of the campus. I call it a campus. but you know, where everybody walked out and there was a gutter and everybody was fishing in that gutter for cigarette butts.
Dang.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. It was.
I remember being in the county jail when they stopped smoking. We used to sell a pack of cigarettes for like $100.
You're old then, because I never smoked in county jail and I've
Yeah.
been going to jail just like.
Oh yeah, no, I was there when they were smoking, and when they stopped, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the money maker right there.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to sell dope, just tobacco. Yeah, that was the money maker.
But you know, I love my war stories. I love the stories I have to tell, and because it gives hope. It gives freaking hope.
It does.
It does. It's just amazing how like somebody else's story can save somebody else's life.
Any other trip, just seeing you, just being around you, people probably wouldn't even know.
Mm-mm.
It's just like me. People never know my story until I tell it. They're
Yeah.
like, "No way, you're lying." Then when I start showing them videos or pictures, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What the heck?"
I know, like you know, because I see your story and I'm like, where's my you know? So I had my prison ID for a lot of years. I kept my prison
my
ID.
lifer ID card.
Yeah, but I had my green card. You know, the California state. You know,
Mhm.
our California state ID. You know, parole with, and you get
Yeah.
to leave with it. And I was like, I'm gonna carry this ID forever. It's like memories. But I needed ID. I needed that picture for a fake ID I was making, so I cut it all up and took my picture out of the ID. But now I'm thinking, I'm like, God, I could have added that to my story. I don't even have that. Like, you know, like
I
memories.
love my little ID card.
I need my ID card, but I don't have my ID card anymore. So yeah,
I still carry my discharge card on me.
do you? Oh, I lost that discharge card.
It's crazy because I got my discharge card
Mm-hmm.
and I got my state ID card.
In your wallet too, or state ID? Keep
In
it
my
on.
wallet. Look, I'll show you.
Proud moment.
I keep it on me. I like, just in case I ever get arrested, they'll be like, "Wait a minute, you got a discharge card and a state ID card?" I said, "That's my go get in a prison card." So there's my discharge. I was on high.
Yeah, see, I have
I
one
was
of
on
these
high
too, but not no
control.
more. Wait.
I was on high control for 6 years.
Oh, wait, but let me tell you some amazing story. So next Saturday, I'm going into CIW.
What the heck?
Yeah. I got approved to go in. So I did my first prison term there.
Okay.
And I got approved to go in. So we're doing a whole speaker jam next Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're taking, I think there's a lot of us women going in, and we're taking meetings and we're taking food into them on the 16th.
That is nice.
Yes,
Right before
yes.
the holiday.
Right
That
for
is
the
so
holiday.
cool.
Yes.
You know how big that is in there.
I just can't wait to take a picture in front of that sign and be like, damn, look at where I'm at now.
Look at my California.
Oh, yeah.
My get in the jail card. Imagine that. From being a lifer to having a state ID card to get in the prison.
That's crazy.
All you do is present it at the desk. They're like, "Here's your keys."
That's crazy.
That's crazy,
right?
yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like, who would ever thought?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I know. But when I said they're like, you've been to prison, I'm like, when I share them, they're like, no way. I'm like, no, I just look like this.
yeah, that is crazy.
But so much stories to tell. Like, I wish I could tell you guys all that story. All I just know is that,
man, we'll be here forever, man. They're hungry. They ready to go. Look, they're like, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a holiday tomorrow. Don't act like you guys gotta go to work. But yeah, I could only imagine, you know.
Yeah, but like no matter what I went through, no matter the good days, the bad days, I still managed to just pull myself out of that funk and still be able to come shine still.
Yeah. You gain brighter and brighter.
Yeah. And there's people that come in that test my emotions sometimes and make me feel like I'm not good enough or what's wrong with me. But I always have to learn how to separate that's their stuff and not my stuff, and not to own somebody else's stuff. And that's hard. That's hard to do. But as you grow and you learn how to like identify who you are and love yourself enough and be like, they weren't meant for you. Like, they're just like,
yeah. You already know they're going to be haters. They're going to be people that ain't going to want to see you succeed, you know, because they haven't figured out how to get out of that rut, you know, and they're like, yeah, she's just putting too much on it, man. We like, this can't be real. She's faking it. So like, you know, that's just people that just ain't experienced it yet.
Yeah.
You know, they can't believe it.
I'm telling you, it's real. This is really me.
Oh, I know it is. I know it is. I'll co-sign for you.
Yeah.
Co-sign.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank you. We're going to go ahead and, you know, be closing off now because I know, you know, you really put a lot out there.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people, it's not easy. It's not easy sharing your stories, sharing your hurt, sharing, you know, your path. It's not easy. I'm an
open book. I love you, Mom. I love you, sisters, and I love my freaking daughters so freaking much. And if things would have been different, but but that's just the way the cards were dealt.
Mhm.
And all I could do is just continue to love you, and I'll always be here for you. And that's just the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jojo. You'll always be part of my life too. Always.
I'm glad.
And grateful. And this is amazing that you're doing this, because a lot of people need to hear people's stories. Like Christina was saying on the phone too, is that, if people like us that share our story give other people hope that they can make it. Because right now there's somebody sitting with a needle on the arm that's probably not going to make it.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. And like you said, we might not reach thousands and thousands, but if we could reach that one, and never know what that one, it's
Oh,
crazy.
look at this, my sponsor on the thing.
That's her, Nora. Okay. It's crazy when I think about it, because the guy that led me to the Lord, which, began my spiritual awakening and my whole process of walking in the faith, right?
Mhm.
I hadn't talked to him in almost 30 years. That had been almost 30 years. And it was just recently, like about a year ago, that I was on another podcast, and his homeboys told him, hey, there's a fool on YouTube that was shouting you out, because I identified him by his nickname and his neighborhood and all that. And his wife ended up hitting me up on Instagram, and I was like, what the heck? So he had no idea where I was at today or whatever, you know what I mean? I told him, you know what? I think I've touched a few people's lives. I said, but it started with you reaching out to me, during that rage, that moment,
Yeah.
because at that time in my life, all I wanted to be was a killer. You know what I'm saying? I was already sentenced to 45 years of life, never coming home. So I'm earning my stripes in there, and I was on a rampage. And this man just spoke into my life, said, the only one that's going to get that rage out of your life is Jesus Christ. And from that day forward, my whole life was transformed.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy, but like you, I have so many witnesses that were there with me at the time. And, I did all my life term on mainline, because my paperwork had always been good. It wasn't like I was hiding behind anything. It wasn't like I was scared of anything, but I had an encounter. And just like you about love, when people say, man, did you turn Christian because you were afraid to die, or you're afraid of what?
Yeah. You're
I said,
hiding,
I said,
behind something.
I said, you know what? It don't have nothing to do with any of that. You know what it had? I just felt the pouring of love into my heart that I've never, ever felt before. And I felt it was real, and I didn't know where it was going. But I said, here I am, after all them years. And like you, I get connected. My wife trips out with me because, I get prison calls almost every day. Every day.
Dang.
Every day I get prison calls.
Because
for
you're so
real.
positive. That's why.
But not only that, though, but I still talk to like guys from Los Padrinos from 1988.
Oh,
I'm still in contact with these dudes from multiple neighborhoods that I've just been real close to, that I just been hella tight with.
Yeah.
After all these years.
Like me. Like I stay connected when you're my friend, you're my friend.
Yeah.
we
Like,
forever.
unless you burn me real bad, or
you
put me in a situation, I said, even that I may forgive them,
Well, that's why I always say, like, I share with Angie all the time too. Like, I was like, if this person didn't burn me, take the person I was being with, stole my money, did my daughter dirty, did anything that was just essence of just like, and it was just a lack of communication, we're talking again. Like, I could forgive you. But if it's anything that's really like has to do with any, it's just that's just the way I am. But communication is always the key to stuff. And like, being a positive, like when you be positive like that, it takes on, like, it's like you hang out with a lot of people, and I'm like, I love people.
Yeah.
Like, I love people.
That's like me. I love people for who they are.
Yeah.
It's, I've been an ordained minister, but you'll still find me in the neighborhood. You'll still find me with, and everybody, they always question me because I'm always with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy because as hardcore as I am in my faith, trust me, I'm like hardcore in my faith.
Yeah, I see you hanging out with your homeboys still. Like, you just don't. Yeah,
not just my home, but I hang out with Muslims.
Yeah,
I hang out with Satanists.
Yeah,
I hang out with gays. I hang out with straights. I hang out with like anybody that allows me in their lives. I've learned over all these years, and I think the greatest wisdom I gained from God is to love people where they're at.
Yep.
And like you said, in the rooms of recovery, they love us until we could love ourselves.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I took that with me. My recovery, my Christianity is like hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? And as you know, I don't push my beliefs on anybody until it comes to a point where they're asking me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want I'll give it to
And
you.
that's what I love about you, because that's what, and I mean, it's not against anybody that goes to church or nothing like that, but you're like that too. Like, there's some people that go to church and be like, you need to find God, you need to find God. Sometimes, like for me, like sometimes some people don't like to hear that sometimes, you know what I mean? Like I let me find them, like plant the seed, and let me grow from there on my own,
Yeah.
but with you don't ever push. I don't think you have ever pushed. I think because maybe we're just on another level of like recovery part, because you're more recovery based when it comes to like Walden House Brother. So it's like a different thing. But that's another thing that I'm like, you don't like, I don't feel like you ever push on me either. So I feel like I push myself away from people that do that to me.
Yeah. I just feel like my walk, my testimony itself is
That's
evident
enough.
of what I
Yeah.
do and who I am and what I say, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's it, you know?
Yeah, like me, I don't go around and people and be like, you need to go to a meeting. You need to find recovery. Like, no, like I'm gonna love you until
Yeah.
you're able to figure it out yourself.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna welcome you in. And then you'll figure it out yourself what
Yeah.
recovery can do for you
Yeah.
by you working your program.
And my greatest example is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because
Yeah.
he loved people where they're at,
Yep.
you know?
Mhm.
He was accused of, why are you sitting with the sinners? Why are you letting that harlot, touch on your feet? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, it's like, that's just all we can do.
Yeah.
But love people where they're at, man. But I definitely, man, I am so proud of you. I don't know how many times I said that right
I
now.
am so proud of you
I'm
too.
gonna go back and I'm gonna see it in the transcript. You said proud like 30 times. But it is though, because like I said, from 2007 and now, just the growth and just, being a man, that's what I love about social media though. Just as like, it's like I'm living your life with you, even though I'm not there. Like I said, 6:00 in the morning, I see you in the gym on that bike, crazy, pumping everybody.
Yeah.
I like, man, she's hella loud. People are in there just trying to work out. Angie, those
Dude, I know everybody's like, but because I got surgery on my feet, right? And
Yeah.
like the people I work out with, they're like, it's been so quiet since you've been gone. Like, we don't get that energy. Like, you're back. We're pumped up again. Like, our
Yeah.
class is back to being
Yeah.
everywhere I go. I'm like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Gym, the rooms, going out dancing, because I love to go out dancing. Just because I got clean doesn't mean I stopped being who I was.
That's
I
like
love
us
going.
too.
I love going dancing.
Mhm.
As I like, it's my cardio.
I know.
Like, put me on the dance floor, I'm dancing, put some music on. I don't care where it's at. It's at any function, out of the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I'm dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, you don't know the impact you have on somebody until like you go missing for the, they're like, oh, where you been? We missed you. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. So listen, Angie, what I normally do is I'm gonna ask you, put it on camera too, please. I'm gonna ask you to look into this camera.
Where were you in the night of 2000? I'm just like, it wasn't me.
So I want you to talk to that single mom. I want you to talk to that girl that's trying to figure out how to get out of that trap of addiction. That girl that just seems like there's no way out. And just for like a quick
Which
minute,
one?
2 minutes, camera right here, the one on the right side.
Okay.
And just
Okay.
look in there and just talk to that person. Just tell them,
Okay. Just know that you're gonna make it. You're not alone. Don't ever feel like you don't have people to help you out. There's a lot of help out there. I know days might seem like it's not worth living. You're not good enough. Nobody loves you. There's a whole world that loves you if you just reach out. Try not to isolate. Isolation is the enemy. When you isolate, you don't let anybody in. This world is about love. And when you find your people, you won't feel alone. Don't think that because people that don't have their kids, you'll get your kids back. You just have to keep on living life the right way. Like, I know at times that it's hard to find a way to get clean, but you have to get clean. And like in your word, like, find God, and prayers do work. I'm telling you, prayers do work, because they gave through my mom's prayers and everybody else, that my prayers, that I'm sitting here and talking to you guys and sharing this message with you. Because I remember I thought I wasn't gonna be able to get out of the hole. And the person that I was before, but God, change does happen. Just be open. Don't, when you're hurting, when you're feeling sad, call somebody. Like, it's all about reaching out, get a support group, find women who love you. And remember, you have to do it for yourself. Don't rush the process. If you're struggling right now to get your kids back, don't rush the process. Take time to love yourself first. Because if you're not able to love yourself first, you're not going to be able to give love to those kids.
man, that's what's up. Yeah.
Wait, let's go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks again, Angie, for coming on. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. And I know I'm holding up to go dancing and going and having a good
Yeah.
time. It's a long weekend this week. She's definitely
I'm going.
somebody saying they love you.
Oh, Albie, I love. That's my other sponsee sister.
That's your other sponsee sister?
That's my sponsee sister.
Okay.
I have amazing for the you get amazing women in your life. Like my sponsee family, my sponsorship family, we're like the best. Like we're the best. And when you get a sponsorship family, they teach you how to build, like live, like because there's people that come in here that don't have no family at all.
Yeah.
Like they don't have no family at all. And then you build a relationship here in the rooms and you learn how to feel loved and get loved and embrace love. Because sometimes like don't like because we're hurt. We don't know how to get that. Or if you love me, what do you want? Like what am I gonna get out of it? Like there's always that people come in with that. But when you come to the rooms, dude, it's all about love. I swear, I promise. I promise. It's just the way you carry yourself sometimes, because some people come in here for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But like me, I come in with love. And if you see me in the streets, I'll embrace you. I'll give you a hug. If you come to the rooms of NA, if you're dancing, we'll dance together. Just find the nearest meeting. There's Zoom meetings online if you're too shy. And if you're JoJo's friend, you can reach out, get my number. You give me my number if you have if you need someone to talk. I could talk you out of your sadness. I'll put a smile on your face. I'll make you laugh.
Yeah, she will. Hey, so thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week. Another interesting story next week, man. You talk about a father and a son being reunited, and man, you talk about, oh my goodness, it's crazy, but it's going to be a good story. So be sure to tap in next Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and definitely share it. All right. Somebody needs to hear this story. So please be sure to check it out. Also on all your other Spotify's, your Amazon, all the podcast platforms, it'll be audible by tomorrow morning. So be sure to listen to it again if you need to. With that being said, thank you guys. You guys have a great week. Just a reminder, all you vets, man, thank you for your service. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys, man. God bless you guys.
Ruha?
What?
How do you say it?
Oorah.
Oorah.
Well, that's the Marine. That's the Marine chant.
Oh.
All of them have their own little thing, but I was brought up under Marines. So yeah, oorah.
Oorah.
Yeah. So you guys be blessed, man. Be safe and God bless, man. We're out of here.
Peace.